right, here we go once again. Welcome to another edition of Breaking the Base, guys. This is your boy Narik and your boy Ken on the scene once again, at it again. We hope you enjoy the 67th episode. The
Werewolves. That was last week.
Yeah, we did Werewolves last week, and this week we're going to try to change it up a little bit with another open discussion. There have been so many things in the news and, you know, what's going on with YouTube and everything. I also want to talk about what's going on with wargaming. Me and Zach were talking about that, but I'm going to go ahead and leave that for later on, I suppose. So, Ken, go ahead and do what you do, buddy. Go ahead and bring us on in.
Oh, let's see. There's so much going on. Flipping through the old news the other day, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday, I buzzed you and said, hey, they're talking about the what's called the Dark Universe. And for those who are not very familiar with the Dark Universe, it's basically the Universal monsters, your original critters, the Mummy, Frankenstein, Invisible Man, Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula, the creature from the Black Lagoon, or also known as the Gill Man, and Invisible Man. And right now we're about to see the Mummy franchise kick off here, just not even a couple weeks from now?
Yeah.
I wonder when that's coming out. I was trying to find the date here.
It should be within like another week or two, actually.
Yeah, it should be. There's like a whole bunch right back to back of Wonder Woman and the Mummy and all kind of junk. But they were, putting out the announcement. This is the first we're going to see. If you watched anything on YouTube, you'll see like little snippets of the movie and things, and really building the Mummy up, which is going to be interesting because there's a kind of the clandestine organization in there, and it's kind of cool because we're going to see a couple of the characters come right out the bat. First, we're going to see the Mummy right off the bat.
Yes,
and then as part of that movie, we're going to get introduced to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which
cool.
Well, it's cool because he runs an organization in this. He's like the boss man, and I was trying to find the name of the organization, but they actually existed a long time ago. But he's coming in. Russell Crowe is playing Dr. Henry Jekyll, but he will also play, again, Mr. Hyde, which is basically his alias, in this movie.
Yeah.
And basically his organization documents, tracks, isolates all the monsters of the world, basically, kind of like the group from Hellboy. They keep all the evil away, and
the paranormal stuff.
Exactly, and that is that is a very interesting twist, which I really now made me kind of excited to see the movie even more. The filmography looks pretty damn good, and of course Tom Cruise has got to run in the movie, but
everybody loves that run.
Everybody's got to run, watch the run. We've got a pretty good cast of folks in the movie. Of course, Tom Cruise, Sophia Bonatella, Russell Crowe, of course, and many others. But the fun thing is we're going to see Russell Crowe's character crossing over to all these different movies that they're setting up. Because like I say, right now they're looking at, we talked about this kind of about a month ago, very generally, because we were kind of hitting vampires and werewolves and, the cinema general, but we're going to have like the Bride of Frankenstein is now going to be the next movie coming up.
Yeah.
So they're looking at Angelina Jolie playing in that movie. We're looking at seeing Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, of course, in there. There's going to be a lot of different things going on, and over the next few years, we'll see Invisible Man, the Wolfman, Van Helsing, which is one we kind of talked about earlier, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and then they have a couple of different folks slated for some of these movies. Johnny Depp is in there as one of the characters for the Frankenstein movie.
Oh, okay.
We got some good writers and producers in here. The Kurtzmans, Alex Kurtzman, and Roberto Okai, which is, you will know them from the Star Trek franchises. You'll know them from Bad Robot and J.J. Abrams. They're going to be floating around writing, editing, producing, and screenwriting these movies. So we've got a very good group of people trying to basically kick in for some really cool movies, which I'm excited about. I like the old classic movie monsters.
Yeah.
So for me, we were, how, they can bring these in and set them up and over the next few years. And I like the tie-in from the Mummy. I think that's going to be cool. and we'll have to see how the rest goes. But that's some, real quick news. We talked about it over the last couple of weeks, and we've been hitting a lot of the classic movie monsters in our discussions over the last few weeks. So I thought that'd be a nice little tidbit of news to throw at you.
Yeah. Okay. Got some good news already on the scene.
Yes.
And I cannot wait to see that freaking Mummy movie. And like I said, I like Sofia Boutella. I've been trying to keep up with some of the movies she's been in. Monsters, Dark Continent. Of course, there was Kingsman.
Yes.
There was another movie she was in. I can't think of off the top of my head. But outside, I've been trying to keep up with her. Also, you hear about they're supposed to be rebooting Hellboy, right?
Yes, I did. And it's the sheriff from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And the first movie was titled Queen.
Rise of the Blood Queen or something like that?
Yeah, Rise of the Blood Queen. Now, the interesting thing to that is the writer, or I guess originally the creator of Hellboy, I hope I don't say this wrong. Yeah, Mike Mignola. He's the guy who created Hellboy. And he is basically going to be writing right behind the directors and producers of the movie. Like Guillermo del Toro did the first two that we saw.
The first two, yeah.
With Ron Perlman, which are great movies. Love them.
Yes,
I can watch them all the time. But now they're bringing a reboot, which is something, sometimes it's not good to mess with classics, but we'll see. Excuse me, how this goes. But he is.
The new guy that played on Stranger Things, his name is David Harbour.
Correct.
I've seen David Harbour in a couple of things, but I haven't seen him in like a major like he was the lead or anything. Not saying that he hadn't played the movies.
Yeah, he's just played in side stuff. He's not. I mean, he's only been acting around since 2004, so a lot of his stuff has been like supporting. No way, he was in a Suicide Squad.
I'm still trying to figure out who he was in Suicide Squad.
Who the heck was he in Suicide Squad?
The only two movies I can think of him being in is A Walk Among the Tombstones, because he was one of the killers in the movie. Sorry for the spoiler. And he was in the James Bond movie, Quantum of Solace. He was one of the FBI guys.
Okay, all right.
One of the only two movies I can remember.
Oh, I know what he played in. Okay, I see him. He was the security advisor in the very beginning of the movie when they were talking with
Amanda Waller.
He was the guy who was being snot-nosed about her having ability or whatever, giving her a hard time. That's who he played. He was the security advisor.
Okay.
Well, that mystery solved. And then, like I say, most everything I see, he was another supporting actor, Green Hornet, which I do not like. I thought it was
a little too goofy at times, but I thought it was pretty good.
If they had gotten rid of Seth Rogen and cast anybody else in that movie, it would have been fine.
A lot of people didn't like Seth Rogen in that movie.
I do not like Seth Rogen. Most of the roles, he just reminds me of the same character in every freaking movie he plays. A bumbling stoner.
Yeah.
Or close to. I mean, every movie I've seen him in, there's been nothing serious. I don't say you don't even have to be serious, but he's like the Pineapple Express character in every movie.
Yeah.
Everything. And I liked the movie. I liked the effects. I liked all the cool stuff. I could not work with him as the center character in that movie. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I watched it, but I really have never gone back to watch it again since then. So, very interesting. But yes, Hellboy, Rise of Blood Queen. No dates. Nothing really out there right now. So, I'm not even sure about the storyline, really.
I'm interested in seeing that. I do think it's unfortunate they couldn't continue on with the original two. I would have loved to at least made it a trilogy before we rebooted it.
Exactly. Let's see the trilogy. Let's wrap up the storyline. Come on, get with the program.
They ended. Yeah. Hey, did you? All right. Would you? Which one of these would you like to see? Would you like to see a Mace Windu spinoff of Star Wars, or a Darth Vader spinoff of Star Wars?
Both.
Okay, I can't really argue with that on that.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the whole scenario with that. We know Mace Windu. The last time we saw him, he was fighting the.
What was that? What was that?
Where?
It's like it just beeped. It was like boom.
How weird.
But
you're hearing. You gotta be hearing things, man. Better turn them headphones down. But he got thrown out a window through the Emperor with Force lightning. Now the theory is that Mace Windu did survive. Although, granted, that character didn't exist back in 1977, 86, or early 90s. So that character really was never to be looked for. But we know that Obi-Wan survived. We've seen some other Force-sensitive characters survive. Mm-hmm. I think he pretty much survived. I'm pretty sure about it.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too far a stretch.
And I would like to actually see. I would like to see what happened with those, and it didn't even necessarily always have to be completely him. I'm sure that they got together because remember Obi-Wan put the signal out through the Jedi temple saying, "Don't come back. Bad things are happening. Run for the hills," kind of thing. We'll come back and fix it later. So I would like to see a storyline with Kenobi and Mace, and maybe some of the other ones we haven't really seen in the regular Star Wars universe. Come back and make a side movie.
I would like to see. I want to see maybe if he was younger or something, or
what happened after Order 66?
Yeah,
what went on in between? I mean,
or either as a prequel to the prequels of him becoming a Jedi Knight or something, or after, or even during the Clone Wars. Like, what was he doing?
Exactly. What's going on? What was happening? And those are the things that I would like to see. And the same thing with Vader. We see EP3, Vader or Anakin Skywalker gets his ass handed to him by his mentor, his prodigy, and he grows in hatred. He's killed Padme as far as he knows. The Emperor does bad things to him, makes him Vader. Mm-hmm. And then really the first time we see Vader in the current lineup is in Rogue One. Which is kind of like his first run.
Yeah.
But how long ago did his Obi-Wan beating happen until we saw him in Rogue One? Obviously he's got a castle going on now. He's got the castle mentioned in many of the books on most far.
And that scene from Rogue One, there is no other scene in the entire series where Vader was like that hardcore. Mm-hmm. There was no other sequence.
Yeah, and they could easily expand that into finding out what was going on all that time, between EP4, Rogue One / early part of Episode 4 Jedi, or even behind the scenes. We know he's chasing him at that point. But, there's a lot of storyline that could be run in there.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely
right. And I know there was talk of the Obi-Wan as a spin-off series as well.
I wouldn't mind that either.
I think that one's actually going to happen more than Vader or Mace Windu. Mm-hmm. Although it'd be great to see.
It's the expanded universe is so big with Star Wars they can keep coming out with stuff.
You could come out with stuff for 20 years and still never even scrape half the stuff that goes on in there.
Yeah.
There is just so much in that expanded universe, which I like the fact that they're locking a lot of that into their animated series like Clone Wars and in not Rogue One, Rebels, Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah,
they're bringing a lot of those characters in, so I really like to see that, and I would like to see more of it. But Rogue One was a great departure. It wasn't anything on the regular movies. It does tie in.
Yeah, that's a pretty good job.
Beginning of it, but it was still a sideline story, which was great. And then they got the Han Solo series coming out now. I think they've already started filming for it. I think so. I know I've seen a lot of
Alden Ehrenreich as Holland. I don't know how to say the guy's name. And Ehrenreich. Alden Ehrenreich. His last name is Hernreich. I don't know how to say that.
Ehrenreich.
I don't know.
Reich is Reich. So Ehrenreich. Alden Ehrenreich.
Well, he's the new young Han Solo. So
Emilia Clarke's in there? What? Woody Harrelson?
You know what?
Danny Glover's son's playing Lando, by the way.
Is that his son?
Yep, that's his son.
Oh, okay.
And then the new Chewbacca, who replaced the old Chewbacca now. And there were also some other pictures of a couple other casting folks. I was trying to find that note real quick. Peter Mayhew was the original Chewbacca, and he's been replaced with this Jonas Sumato. And I think actually he played him half of the movie of The Force Awakens too. May 25th, 2018. So funny, 42 years after Star Wars, 41 years on the exact date. That's funny. Very funny.
I wanted to ask you this too. Did you hear about the new Hydra Captain America?
I oddly am strangely wearing a Captain America shirt right now. And I did hear about that. And I'm really not really sure what to think. I know right now it's in their storyline, and there's a lot of it I have not read. And a lot of people are very pissed off about it.
Yeah.
I know right on IO9, which is a website I pretty much look at every day, you see stuff about it all the time. So I don't know. I haven't read everything. I know there's some twist to it. I don't have enough in my brain to talk about it completely, but I think it's very uncool and very out of character. I'm not sure which way they're going to go with this.
I don't mind it. If they got a good story behind it, I don't mind it. That was it kind of reminds me of when they had the one storyline with Superman was taken in by the Russians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The story made sense.
I think it's not necessarily that people were equating Hydra with Nazis, which I did a little back reading, and really Hydra was never the Nazi party. They were just with the powerhouse at the time.
Yeah. And
the Red Skeleton kind of took it over at that point, and he thought Hitler was going the right direction of what his ideas were part of Hydra.
Mm-hmm.
World domination through control, and they were failing. So that's why he kind of separated and kind of that's where Hydra really started going off to the side, and that's where you see if you watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you'll see Hydra was even an organization long even before that. I mean, Hydra went back a long ways in the timeline of Marvel Cinematic Universe / comic universe. So, it just there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, and they explained a lot of it in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like season 2, I believe, with the Hive character that came into the storyline.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah, and on IO9 there was a really good article. I'll have to put it in the link of the show. I got to go back and find it again, but that kind of did a backstory on exactly what I'm talking about with the Nazis / Captain America / Hydra story, which would explain it a lot more than I could actually try to explain it to you because I just kind of burned through it real fast, just skimming it. So. Keep an eye out for that in the link of the story when we're done with tonight's broadcast.
Okay. Because I do want to read up on that. Hey, man, did you hear about Roger Moore?
I am very, very saddened with Roger Moore's passing, 007. That is very not cool. And it is a big run, too. I mean, we lost Chris Cornell, if you're a music lover. Roger Moore. Who was the other one? They always go in threes.
I can't remember the other guy's name. I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah,
What,
but
did he
Roger Moore
overdose?
was a shocker. I was like, what?
Age 89, and he passed the cancer. Now, he dude did have some age on him, so he ran his years though.
He had a good run.
Yeah.
Chris Cornell was kind of a tragic run.
Didn't Chris Cornell like overdose?
Nah, hung himself in his room. That's the story. Last story I read was like he hung himself, and I'm very saddened about that. And the funny thing is, side note, folks, and I just went through this oddly working where I work on Keys Air Force Base. We have a lot of training that you get all the time. And one of those things is suicide prevention. Watch out for signs of people who may be exhibiting issues. And a lot of times it's all about communication. If I saw Narik, feeling kind of bummed down, some things were going right at home, and he was kind of feeling really bad, it's set up, talk with him, communicate, find out what's going on, see what's there, take care for your, fellow brother there or sister in this case, whatever whatever it may run. And, there's some questions that, if you answer those questions, you need to get some help, and asking for help is not a bad thing. If you're having issues like that, or and granted, you may not even be thinking about killing yourself. You may just need somebody to talk to. I've worked in radio for 16 years, and I can't even tell you how many people I've talked to over that 16 years for hours at a time that just really needed an ear, and they were really thinking about hurting themselves. And just talking to somebody, getting them in the right direction, trying to point them in the right direction. Take the time. If you see somebody struggling, take the time to talk to them, find out what's going on. It's better than finding about them the next day in the paper, find out they jumped in front of a train or took their life for something that simply was it may have just been simply just talk to somebody. So just, keep that in mind. There's a lot of agencies out there that can help you. I'm not an expert. I don't think Narik is an expert, but you know what? We can at least help you and talk to you or something like that. So just keep that in mind. A quick blurb about suicide prevention and, watching out for your fellow man and woman. That is all.
Yeah, but you're right about that.
It's very important. I mean, most people don't think about it, and sometimes your friend's like, well, I'm okay, I'm good, but here's my microwave. Well, why are you giving me a microwave? Well, I'm not going to need it. Well, why? And then you find out some things are really going on. So, just take care and watch your friends and keep an eye out for them. Take care of, and it doesn't have to be your friend. If you see somebody needs, talk to them. Talk to them. Try to overcome that personal barrier and talk to these folks. So, moving on.
Wow.
Boy, what a train wreck that was. But you know what? That's important, though. I'm really glad I said something about that, because I literally just went through this training yesterday. And so, it's great to share. And who knows? Somebody might be listening to this and go, you know what, Ken, what? I have problems. I need to talk to somebody. And if I help one person, well worth the time. Well worth the time.
I wondered actually about this. There's supposedly, like they have been for like the last 20 years, talking about the Mortal Kombat movie reboot.
Oh my God. That thing has been stuck in stupid limbo forever.
I heard somebody, I read something on it, and they gave it the best description I've ever heard. They called it the Avengers with like a whole bunch of like murder and stuff. And I was like, you know what? If they did make a Mortal Kombat, that's probably how I would like it to play out. Kind of like the Avengers a little bit.
Well, there was my son pointed me into the direction of a thing that was on YouTube. I was trying to see if I could find it real quick. But he basically, I watched a couple of the episodes, and it was just kind of like, it's kind of like watching Netflix, but on YouTube.
Oh, yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And that was actually pretty cool. It wasn't high budget, but I mean, it wasn't really cheesy either. And it was actually kind of cool. And I was like, man, if they could take that and move it up a notch, put some more, mucho dinero behind it and give it some, something to go with it, I think it would have been really cool. And they actually had a story and everything. I mean, it was doing really well, and then it just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, it had 2 seasons, but it had 2 seasons, and then that was it.
Kombat Legacy, that's what it was called.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat Legacy.
Yeah, and that was actually really good. Very good. And it was like, I forgot how many episodes it was.
I want to say it was like maybe, what was it, like 10 each season?
Yeah, it was like 2
Maybe
seasons.
less than
Yeah, it was something like 10 episodes, 12, 14 episodes. So it was well worth watching. Mortal Kombat Legacy. Keep an eye out for it on YouTube. Very good series. Highly recommend it if you like the Mortal Kombat series. You know, I like the Mortal Kombat, the original movie. It was really cool when it came out. Mortal Kombat 2, you know, they start getting a little hokey. But I wouldn't mind to see a good, nice. This is one I would actually probably agree on a reboot, just because we have better effects, we have better stuff, we have some really talented actors out there who would probably do very well in these movies. For at least for a Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah.
So, and in fact, they could even bring some of the legacy people on board. I mean, they're already rated for the characters. Why not bring them in? You know, bring them in there. Let them play. Michael J. White. You know, here's a list of character or people. This is a very recent list too of bringing in.
I would have liked him. I would have liked him.
Michael J. White as Jax.
Yes.
Linda Hamilton as Sindel.
I can see that.
Sindel. Chris Pratt as Johnny Cage.
I can see that too.
The big guy Kano would be Jay Courtney.
Hold on, let me write these down. Let me write these down right quick. Jay Courtney. Michael J. White, Chris Pratt, Linda
Hamilton. Let me keep going here on the list. Next page. This is an interesting choice. Liam Neeson as Raiden.
I can see that.
Kitiana as Megan Fox, or Megan Fox as Kitiana.
No, absolutely not. I'm sorry. She looks good. Just because you look good don't mean nothing. And
you'll like this next one.
She's living proof that looking good don't mean play a role.
Yeah. Here's another one for you. You'll like this one. Van Diesel as Goro.
He's got the voice. He played a good group.
He's got the look. He's got the look. Just add a couple extra arms.
One woman I say that could. The one person I'd say I'd give it to that I think could play Katana is Gal Gadot, because I liked how she played Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I like her. I'm very, very ready to see Wonder Woman come out on June 2nd.
Yeah, next week too. Okay.
Yep.
Hey, okay, so who else they got?
Shang Tsung as Ken Watanabe.
Why is that
from Batman?
Why?
Yeah, he was the one you thought was the bad guy in the movie. Oh, no way. Check this one out. All right, here's one for you. You'll like this one. Liu Kang is Donnie Yen. Now you're saying who is Donnie Yen, right?
No, I know who Donnie Yen is.
Okay.
Me personally, if Donnie Yen was younger, I would go for him as Liu Kang. But at his age now, I would think he would have played Kung Lao.
Let's see if they have any. I think that's it for at least the nine people here.
I might have to come back and make a video on
that. Let's see, you got some information. I thought it would be interesting. Oh my goodly moogly. Ow.
While you look that up, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up a subject that I came across. Well, hopefully you read up on it. Tom Hardy has been officially cast as Eddie Brock in the new Venom movie.
Mm-hmm.
About that.
It depends on how they want to go with the movie. Which origin they want.
Mm-hmm.
And are they going to introduce Venom with the new Spider-Man twist and then carry on to a side movie? Or are they just going to do a raw, outright movie?
It's just going to be a standalone.
But
from what I heard.
Yeah, but are they going to kind of launch that by, just giving a hint in one of the movies and then boom, there we have Venom? Or they're just going to go right into boom, Venom exists and do a backstory in the story?
Probably backstory within the story.
If they bring in Carnage,
that's what everybody's wanting to see.
If they bring in Carnage to that movie, that will be a badass movie.
Mm-hmm. And not bring him in like the last 20 minutes of the movie.
No, he needs to be like
the
halfway point, or that later developing villain. Have
the halfway point.
Yeah, have the crime scene or a situation where Venom was fighting. I think it was Spider-Man actually, where at the very beginning of the movie they can have Spider-Man kicking his ass or bouncing him around or whatever, and then he falls into the jail and ends up getting Cassidy infected with the symbiote and becoming Carnage, and develop. Carnage is kind of learning and developing, and then he becomes like super crazy mad. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be awesome.
They should have bring him in the halfway point or the last 1/3 of the movie. So that's about what, 40 minutes.
Well, who's he gonna fight with before? You always have to have somebody in there.
Well, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be new. So it's not gonna be what everybody expects. Also, in the new Star Wars movie, The Last Jedi.
Yes.
I came across a rumor. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but it's supposed to be a 4-way battle. It's supposed to be Kylo Ren, Snook versus Ren and Luke.
I have not run across that yet, but that would be interesting. I know the Knights of Ren are supposed to be in there, whether it's a flashback to why Luke stopped and disappeared where he is now.
Yeah.
Or they may show up later in the movie as a first fight and then him and Snoke. I have seen some talk of a very large epic space battle with Snoke's command Mega Destroyer.
Yeah.
They might have a duel aboard his ship. I don't know, but that would still be very interesting because there's still not a lot of detail about Snoke. There's a lot of hinting that he's actually older and from the longer Sith line than some of the other predecessors. Yeah. But he may have been in hibernation or something to recover because obviously he's been very damaged or hurt in some type of fight. You can see his face.
Electrocuted, hint, hint.
Maybe.
Thrown out of a window, hint, hint. Got his hand cut off.
That would be interesting.
Let me stop.
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation, but it's actually more in the expanded universe in the Sith line. Because the Sith figured out how to do a lot of the stuff that the Jedi hadn't figured out yet.
Yeah.
Long time ago. So, kind of like the Force Ghosts and everything that we're seeing now, Yoda learned about at the end of the Clone Wars and taught Kenobi and I can't think of Liam Neeson's character at the moment.
Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yes. He taught all them. So that's when the Jedi started doing this. But according to a lot of the expanded universe, the Sith were doing that long before that with those holocrons and all kind of other stuff.
I actually want to see what these holocrons look like.
Now they're all
movies you never see them.
No, but in the not Rogue One, in the Rebel series, they've shown 2. A Jedi one and a Sith one. And they can't come together because if they come together, then they have really crazy side effects.
That's pretty cool.
It's basically like knowledge, super knowledge of information that's been stored in there for millennia. Think of it as a personal computer that's like intelligent and
Brainiac.
is able to connect to. Yeah, kind of like that, but not per se, not a complete life form, but it's able to be accessed through a particular Jedi or a Sith, and only by them, and it can't even be opened unless you are. So,
okay, that makes sense. That's pretty
cool. Very cool. I can't wait. I mean, they still kind of have a lot of speculation out about their on Snoke. So,
I'm interested to see what's up with Snoke too. And I hope they give this man. This one thing I don't like about Star Wars. A lot of times when they have bad guys, they just have bad guys. They have no motivation behind them. Really, no backstory. I want to hit. The only one that had backstory, like Sith wise, was Anakin. Everybody else, you didn't know nothing about them. They just showed up. So I want to see some kind of backstory on Snoke. Why he became bad or whatever.
Or where he came from, really. That's the big thing, is where.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's so much speculation of him and his character. Is like, where? Why is this guy? You know, he's such a dark side user. Why hasn't he been seen before? Of course, we know they always kind of hid in the background anyway, just like the Emperor did. He hid in plain sight, literally, right under the Jedi nose because he was so powerful.
Yeah.
So, we shall see. We shall see. I'm very interested. We have to wait till December, though. And until then, we're going to be pounded with Star Wars goodies and hints and rumors and speculation. So, oh man, I'm ready. I'm so very ready.
I want to ask you this: Did you see the Goosebumps movie?
Yes, I did. And they announced the Goosebumps too. I liked it. I used to watch the old TV series. I liked it. I enjoyed the series. I really liked it. So, you know, and then saw the movie and I enjoyed the movie. I mean, you got to go to the mentality of, you know, who it's written for. But I mean, I truly enjoyed it. I didn't have any problem with it. And I'm very excited because they left it, you know, a cliffhanger in there. So we'll see what happens. You know, they left kind of two cliffhangers.
I didn't really take the cliffhanger that seriously because if you read the Goosebumps books, that's how they all leave off.
Well, yeah, that's just, but they did it in the movie. And a lot of people have never even read the Goosebumps books or seen the Goosebumps TV show. So, I'm very interested to see what they come up with, and I think Jack Black's back in it, which is interesting, and I liked him. I like the little, I like the little tie-in they had in there. When Jack Black actually passed R.L. Stein.
I was about to bring that up.
So yeah, there was a lot of really cool stuff in that movie, and seeing a lot of the characters come to life that you read about were really cool.
Mm-hmm. So, the only problem I had with the first movie was they put too many monsters into it.
Yeah, they were kind of, well, I mean, it was a bit, you know, they opened the books, so you know, you didn't have time to really. I mean, you had the dummy, which was the main antagonist of the movie.
Yeah,
but he was pretty. Yeah, they brought it off, and they brought a lot of characters in there, and a lot of them didn't have a lot of interaction. I mean, the Bottom Snowman. I mean, they were just there as in a character who was out of the book and didn't really have anything other than just being a minion and doing things. You know,
and that's one thing I did say. I can't say that I did like behind that. Like they did have 10, and even though the dummy Slappy was the main antagonist, they did have some that continued to be antagonistic. Like the Abominable Snowman was one of them. That giant praying mantis was another one.
Yeah.
The gnomes were another one.
The gnomes were cool.
I did like the blob that ate everyone. He didn't get a big role, but he had a role in there. And it was about two more in the wolf boy, the wolf man one.
Yeah.
It was like outside of like those 7. I wish they would have just focused on them 7. And then when the sequel rolled around, bring out more monsters. But you know what I'm saying? They had all those monsters and it felt like, oh man, this is a wasted opportunity. You brought all these monsters out. Now we don't even get to see what they can do.
Yeah, you dump them and then you just keep on trucking.
But outside of that, I did like the movie.
It was a joke. I usually kind of judge a movie one by how often I check my watch, which I actually don't have a watch, but I check my phone. And to me, if I start getting into a movie where I start checking that means it doesn't have my attention, and things are not going well. So,
yeah, for a movie that's like a Goosebumps movie, I gotta rate it two ways. One, I gotta rate it: is it a good movie, and is it a good Goosebumps movie? And honestly, I gave both favorable reviews for both of them because it did work as a Goosebumps book, made sense. And also as a movie, it was, had some pretty fun, suspenseful, some pretty scary moments here and there. It had a lot of good humor in it. And I don't like Jack Black's comedy, but it worked in this film. Maybe because it wasn't solely focused on his comedy, because he did kind of play a serious role a little bit.
Yeah, he wasn't completely. It wasn't a completely totally comedic role. I mean, he was trying to be serious and I don't know. I mean, it just wasn't his usual.
Yeah, it wasn't just 100% goofy, 100%.
You're not talking of. I'm just sitting there trying to think of the name of the movie, and it just completely escaped me. But Pick a Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like that. He was actually trying to potentially play a serious, I want to say, a non-comedic role with some humor in it.
Yes.
So, which I did like. I mean, I have no problem with Jack Black, but I mean, granted, he's one of the people to kind of do a very similar thing in movies, just like Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
But it's not overboard every time, and it's not always every single time.
Yeah.
He is a whack job, but he's a fun whack job. Of course, he was in the movie The Jackal and got his arm blown off. So I mean, you had to have something good about that, right? Shot his arm right off.
I guess for the final subject, we covered a lot. But for the final subject, because we got about 5-6 minutes left, Judge Dredd TV series.
If they bring Carl Urban back into the TV series, I will watch it.
I don't think they're gonna bring him back. I want him back as Dredd, but I don't think they will.
I'm very borderline at this point. Then I do like the Judge Dredd concept. There's a lot of storyline in Judge Dredd. I can't say that I've read all the Judge Dredd stuff. I mean, I know there's a lot of material out there. I might watch it just to kind of start it, but there's no guarantee which way it's going to go. But if Carl Urban were to come back in it, I would watch it because I liked him in the series Almost Human. In that one where he was a cop, so it wouldn't be too far. I mean, he's already played him already, so why not just play him in the TV series? Maybe that's probably why, because he played him in the movie, and he'll probably want more money for doing it as a TV series.
Yeah, Carl Urban's pretty. He's kind of mainstream right now, so it'd be a little bit expensive. But if they could find somebody that could capture the character's essence the way he did in that movie, then I'm all for it.
But who jumps out to you right now that would play Judge Dredd effectively? We've had Stallone, we've had Carl Urban. You know what? They could do a role reversal and go with the female Judge Dredd.
I know somebody that plays in TV shows that could play as a potential Judge Dredd. What's that guy that played on Salem? John? Yeah. What's his name? Because he played on Nikita. The rebooted Nikita.
Oh,
let me see.
Think of his name now. Hang on. Nikita.
Shane West. If they have him as Dredd, I could see that.
He could do it.
Because he does play a lot of serious. He does play a lot of serious characters. But yeah, I could see him doing it.
Oh, he was the guy who played Tom Sawyer in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh yeah, that is him. He looks completely different.
I know. That's why I'm looking at him now.
He's older.
I'm looking at him now, and he looks like Bam Aguirre. And I'm like, is that that Bammer? You know, but yeah, sure enough. I would be interested to see a Judge Dredd series. I would give it a shot. I won't lie. I'll give it a shot, but you know, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Well, yeah, it's about that time. We're gonna close on that. I want to go ahead and jump on the second one tonight.
If you feel like it, I'm game.
All right. Okay, then we're gonna come back, guys, with another video after this one. We greatly appreciate you guys taking the time to just enjoy our open discussion, and we might have another open discussion tonight. I do have some ideas on what we could talk about or what we should talk about, and I just bring them up in the next episode. But anyways, guys, in the comment section below, let us know what you thought about all of our points on the topics that we did discuss. Also, be sure to hit that notification button because we are going to be throwing more videos up on this channel. So get ready to know when those videos will be on. Like, share, and subscribe. You guys are too cool for words. And without further ado, we're going to be out, but we're going to come right back in.